Okay, so this video will show you how to create our Spiral Elegance, the pink rhinestone design. So this is probably one of the more difficult bracelets because the crystals are clear, and for the Spiral Elegance it's more difficult to create the design with the rhinestone. So I just wanted to make this video to show you an example of how it's done. So as you can see, you're going to pick up 2 of the seed beads and a pink rhinestone, 2 of the seed beads and a clear rhinestone, and then 2 of the seed beads and another pink. So you're doing 2 pink rhinestones and 1 clear rhinestone. And so you can see that I have them in order here. And so now what you're going to do is go back through, starting at the tail, you're going to go back through all of the beads to create your circle. So go back through and pull your thread, leaving a tail. You want to leave a tail that's long enough to create that other end of your bracelet. So leave a tail of about 8 to 10 inches. Now go back through a few more beads until you come out through the middle of 2 of the seed beads. So you want to make sure your needle is coming out between 2 seed beads like you see there. Right in the middle there. And there we go. So this will give just a little more strength to or stability to the circle you already made, just to go back through a couple more beads so it won't slip down on the end of the tail. So there you go. There is your circle of the beads. So now you're going to skip the seed bead and the next crystal and go through the following seed bead. Since the next crystal is clear, we're going to pick up a clear crystal, 2 seed beads. Okay, you're going to jump over that clear crystal. So you're going over that seed bead, the crystal, and you're going through the following seed bead. And again, I know it's hard to see because the beads are clear, so I'm going to zoom in here. So we're going in through just that one following seed bead, just like right there. Okay, and then you're going to pull it, not too tight, and so you'll notice that your new crystals are sitting next to. You're going to want to push those up on top so that they're sitting up on top of the existing crystal, not next to it. When you're first starting out, it's going to want to tend to sit right next to the crystal, but you're going to have to use your finger and push that up. So the next crystal is a pink crystal. So we're going to pick up a pink crystal and 2 seed beads. Okay, so now we're ready to go. Skip over that seed bead, the pink crystal, and go through that seed bead that's next after the pink crystal. So once you pull that, again, like I said, it's going to tend to sit next to, but you're going to want to push those new crystals, that new row, on top with your finger. So just kind of pushing that new row up, sitting on top of the existing crystal. Again, this is a little more difficult with the rhinestones than it would be with the seed beads. If you're using all seed beads, it's just a little easier. I'm sorry, I think I said rhinestones. I meant bicones. Whether you're using rondelles or bicones, it's a little more difficult. Okay, so our next bicone is pink. We're going to pick up a pink bicone and 2 seed beads. Now, here's where we're changing. We're on the last bead in this row. So we've done 2. This is our 3rd row. So there's 3 rows in every round. So I'm going to be going through 3 beads this time instead of just 1. So I'm going to go through the last seed bead, the next bicone, and the next seed bead so I can step up to start row 3. I want to finish row 2 and come out on top to start row 3. So I'm going to go through that seed bead that's right next to the pink crystal. Actually, that is the clear crystal that I'm going through. So the pink crystal is the one I'm skipping over, which is why I have threaded a pink crystal. And so it's going to match in that row. So I'm going through the clear bicone right now. So I'm going through seed bead, bicone, seed bead, 3. And as I pull, that's going to sit next to it, and I'm going to push it on top, pushing that up on top there, and that completes my 2nd row. So your 3rd round in each row, you're going to go through 3 beads instead of 1. And so now you can kind of see that the rows are starting to form. I have 2 rows sitting right on top of each other. And now I am ready to start row 3. So I'm looking at a pink bicone that's next in line. So I'm going to pick up a pink bicone and 2 seed beads. And so this is my first round in this row. I'm going to skip over the bicone, skip over that seed bead, the bicone, and go through the first seed bead after the bicone. Okay, so now as I pull this one, see, it's going to tend to sit on top now. After you get past that 2nd row, as you pull, it'll tend to sit on top instead of to the side because you've already kind of got that pattern going. So now my next bicone is pink, so I'm picking up a pink and 2 seed beads. And I'm going to jump over that bicone and go through the following seed bead. So jumping over that seed bead, the bicone, and going through the next seed bead. So pull that tight. And that one kind of stuck on the side again, so I had to push that up. At this point, normally it kind of just sits on top, but sometimes you have to just kind of nudge it, especially when you're using bicones. So my next one is clear, and I need 2 seed beads, and this is my 3rd round in this row. So I'm going to be going through 3 beads this time because I'm going to complete row 3. So passing over the clear bicone. So there's the clear bicone sitting kind of in row 2. And I'm going to set another one right on top of it to complete row 3. So I'm going through that seed bead, that bicone, and that seed bead. Going through 3 beads. So the bicone I'm going through is clear this time. I keep saying it backwards. It's pink. The one I have on that I've threaded is clear, and it's going to sit right on top of the existing clear in row 2. So now I'm pulling tight to finish row 3, and that clear bicone is going to sit right on top of the clear bicone in row 2. And now I've completed row 3. And so now you can see there are 3 rows forming. It makes such a beautiful sparkly bracelet, but using the bicones is, like I said, more difficult with the Spiral Elegance design. So again, I would probably practice this design if you haven't done it before with just the seed beads, because it makes it a lot easier when you kind of understand the flow of how this goes. But I thought it was important just to make the video using the bicones so you can see that it's still the same process. It's just when you're holding it with your left hand, you got to kind of push those rows so that they're staying where you want them to be. So I'm starting row 4 with the same exact process, skipping over the bicone, going through 1 seed bead. So there's my first bicone in row 4. So my next bicone is clear, so I'm going to pick up a clear and 2 seed beads, and then I'm going to jump over that bicone, the clear bicone, and go through that 1 seed bead, and here's my second round of row 4. If the tail gets caught, just kind of pull it out. Sometimes it manages to stick up a little bit. Alright, so now I'm ready to finish row 4 because I've gotten 2 rounds and I'm on my 3rd round of row 4. So you can see there's a pink bicone in row 3 in the gap there. And so I'm going to pick up a pink bicone so that that will sit on top of row 3, and then this will complete row 4. And I'm going through 1 seed bead, a bicone, and another seed bead to put me out on top of row 4. So I'll be ready to start row 5. And through those 3 beads, seed, bicone, seed, hold that, and that should close the gap of row 4. And now you can kind of see the pattern forming. We've got 4 rows done, and you can kind of see how that's forming a nice pattern with the rows there. And remember, when you're deciding which color bicone to pick up, you're always looking counterclockwise to see, once you're looking at the end of that thread, what's the next bicone color, and that's what you're going to pick up. So the next one's clear, so I'm going to pick that up and 2 seed beads, jump over the clear, and so with my left hand I'm kind of squeezing that little tube of beads that we're creating to kind of keep it in a tube shape. And so that's where it's kind of a little more difficult than the seed beads, is your left hand kind of really has to help form that tube as you're sewing the beads with your right hand. And I ran out of pink bicones, so I'm going to grab one more because I want to close off row 5, and I'm on my 3rd round of row 5. So this time I'm going to pick up my pink bicone, and then I'm going to go through 3 beads. To close off row 5. So going through seed, bicone, and now seed. And then when I pull that, that'll close that gap for row 5. And there we go. Now you can really see it. So we've got a nice little spiral pattern going, and the crystals are just so sparkly. It's so pretty. So if you tend to catch on to things really quickly and you don't feel like you need to practice this with the seed beads, that's okay. You can try it with this one, but don't get frustrated if you're not getting it with this one right away. I would pause and go back to our other Spiral Elegance video and watch that one and try it with seed beads, because it is a lot easier to get this started with seed beads. and not the tiny seed beads, but if you're using like 11/0 and 8/0 seed beads, it's fairly easy to get that one started as compared with this one, in my opinion. But that's how you start our pink rhinestone bracelet. This is Wendy with WK Beads. Thanks for watching.